Majority Leader, a brave guy. Oh, boy, I was with him that night where he wasn't supposed to make it. Steve Scalise, he is great. What a strong guy. Where are you, Steve? We love Steve. Oh, there he is. We love Steve. What a thing he went through. And then he went through another battle, too, and he's a tough cookie. He outlasted her all. I was with his wife, his family that night, that horrible night. And the doctor told me, very, very small chance. And here he is. I actually think he's a better looking man now than he was a few years ago. I actually think he's better looking. I don't know what the hell he did. I think he had the greatest doctors in history. He's a better looking man now. Also, another great looking guy. He was born good looking, and he's got an even better looking wife. His wife is a winner. House Majority Whip Tom Emmer. Where's Tom? Where's Tom? Hello, Tom. He's great. Great guy. Conference chair, Lisa McLean. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Darren. Nrcc Chairman Richard Hudson, who does such a good job all the time. All the time. Deputy Chairman of the Nrcc, a guy who worked for me for 6 years. And when they said, we want to take him, could we share him? Then I knew he was good. And then his congressional seat came up in Georgia where he lived, and he said, sir, my dream is to be a congressman. Would it be okay if I ran? I said, no, I don't want you to run. I want you to stay with me. Please stay with me. He said, please. I said, all right, I'll let you run. Brian Jack, he's done so great. Brian Jack. It's always a tough name to have somebody. You ever have the names Brian Jack? You know, these, I call them the two first names. You have two first names? People would say, you know, that guy Jack Bryan is fantastic. I said, who the hell is Jack Bryan? I had that the other day. He was telling me what a great guy Jack Bryan is. I say, who is he? He's a congressman. He said, listen, I know the congressman. There's nobody named Jack Bryan. But he was talking about Brian Jack. Brian, you're a tremendous guy. Really understands, loves politics, loves being a congressman. And dozens of Republican warriors in the House. You're incredible people, and you are warriors, and you have to take a lot of fake news like I do. We take so much fake news. You know, if you listen to the news, you think we're losing a war in Iran where we're decimating the other side. I mean, the better ones have us doing okay. We are decimating. They've got no Navy. They've got no anything. The whole thing is, and then you watch the news. I said, oh, I thought we were doing better than that. The fake news really has to change because people, you know, when you can win an election with 94% negative stories and you win it in a landslide, there's something wrong with the news because it shouldn't be happening. And, you know, they used to have 96% approval rating. They just edged out at 14. I'm extremely proud of that, actually. I've exposed them for being fake news. And we are going to hopefully change that because I think you really need great news to be great, and they are not great, and they're not leading us to greatness, but we are going to lead us to greatness. We're also joined tonight by many of our terrific MAGA majority candidates, a group of new candidates from across the country will help grow our margin in the House, including Jay Feely, great football player, Kevin Lincoln, Joe Mitchell, Lori Buckhout. Hi, Lori. Mike LaPetri. Tano Tijerina and Eric Flores, all new and all leading and all going to win big. Thank you very much. Welcome to a group of outstanding people. And let's get them all. You know what? We have to get them across the finish line. We've raised more money than we ever have, and we're raising a lot more. You know, I did something, I haven't done this as a candidate. I saw the great job that Mike had done, and they had raised a lot of money for the evening. And the greatest thing about being president is you don't have to make contributions, you know? Nobody ever asks you for money. They want your endorsement, but they don't want, nobody ever asks for money. It's great. I said, it's the only thing where I save money in this business. Nobody ever asked, but I saw Mike the other night. I did something that I never do. And I don't do this bragging. I do it because it's fun to talk about. He was close to raising $20 million. And I said, I'll give you $1 million so you hit your mark. I gave him $1 million. I never do that in politics. I never do it. But I do it for him, and we're going to do a lot more, by the way. I'm going to do a lot more. We've already raised a lot of money, but I'm doing a lot more because we got to win. Our country's at stake, really. Our country's at stake. These people are crazy that we're dealing with. The State of the Union speech, you don't mind if I go off this crazy teleprompter a little bit? It's boring when you do the teleprompter thing, right? It's very boring. But no, we had the State of the Union speech the other night. I announced all these heroes, and I announced women that have gone through tragedy, like the incredible woman who lost her daughter to a maniac when he slashed her from behind, right? And I say, please, please, say hello. And she stands up devastated. And the Democrats are sitting like dead people, like dead. No movement, no heart, no anything. Then I announced a Congressional Medal of Honor being bestowed on the captain, a helicopter pilot who helped us win in Venezuela by landing a helicopter when his leg was practically shot off. With blood pouring down, they land the big Chinooks, a lot of people, a lot of great soldiers in that helicopter. And he was shot from underneath with machine gun fire. Leg was practically chopped out. And if you know about helicopters, you land the helicopters with your legs. And he had legs that were not in good shape. And he landed it. He was high up, and he was able to land it exactly where it was supposed to land. Without that, the mission would have been a failure, probably. Had to land exactly in that spot, exactly on time. And he got it, and then he said, okay, I'm going to pass out now. Take over. Can you imagine that? And we gave him the Congressional Medal of Honor, and the Democrats sat there without movement. And then we gave another Congressional Medal of Honor to a 100-year-old hero, 100 years, who was a legend in the military for what he had done. We gave him the Congressional Medal of Honor, 100 years old, and the Democrats sat there emotionless, no clapping, nobody standing. Republicans, you did very well. You were going wild for all of them. Now, at the end of the evening, they were clapping on everything I said because they were called in by people watching on television. Did you see they were passing around notes? And they were saying, you guys are being killed tonight. Start clapping. And they were clapping for everything. Everything I said, even good Republican things, they were clapping wildly. But it was too late. They have no heart. And now you see what they're doing. They're just creating chaos. They want to create chaos. It's all they're good at, creating chaos. They can't do policy, no good. But they're doing it for two reasons. Number one is they want to deflect from all of the tremendous success that we're having in this military operation. I won't use the word war because they say if you use the word war, that's maybe not a good thing to do. They don't like the word war because you're supposed to get approval. So I'll use the word military operation, which is really what it is. It's called a military decimation. But they don't like the good publicity. They don't like to see us succeed. They want to see our country fail. And also, what they really want is they want illegal immigrants to come in. Criminals, doesn't matter, because they want to get their votes. They think they're going to get their votes, and we're not going to let this happen. We're not going to let our country be destroyed by these people. So 16 months ago, with the help of many people in this room, we saved our country in the most important electoral victory in American history. Could be. Let me ask you, let's do a poll, fake poll. We'll do a real poll. We're tired of those fake polls. I get so many. Although I got one yesterday from CNN. What is the percentage of people in MAGA, which is most of the Republican Party, by the way, that support the president? The number was 100%. You believe it? In fact, he went wild. Harry, he went wild. It may be the last time he ever does the show, but these are okay. It was 100%. Even I was surprised at that. That was pretty good. But we won all 7 swing states by millions and millions of votes. We won the Electoral College by 312 to 226. We won the popular vote for the first time of any Republican in many decades. And biggest of all is we won, that's where you see all red, except for 2 little blue lines on the edge on the map. We won 86% of all counties in America, 2,700 to 525. That's pretty good. That's what they call a slaughter. And together, the Trump administration and our Republican majorities in Congress won a mandate from the American people. And every day since, we've been fighting to keep our promises and to, in the true sense, the greatest expression, the greatest motto, call it a logo, call it whatever you want, the greatest phrase in the history of politics, make America great again. It really is the greatest. It's the greatest. And we probably have to start, we'll never abandon that phrase, but we'll probably have to start changing, because when you say make America great again, that means it's not great now. We've made America great. We've rebuilt our military. You know, I rebuilt our military in the first term. I didn't think I'd use it this much, but we've used it, and there's no military like it anywhere in the world. We have the greatest military anywhere in the world, and it's not even close. And with the help of our Republican warriors that are right before me in the House, we ended the illegal alien invasion of our country, passed the largest border security investment in history, and achieved the strongest and most secure border on record. I built 1,000 miles of wall, and without that wall, we could have never done what we did. And for 10 months in a row, this is outside, this is the facts. In fact, these numbers are given by people that they say are predominantly Democrat. They're the ones that make it up. For 10 months in a row, 0 illegal aliens have been admitted to the United States of America. Think of that. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. We've also accomplished the largest reduction in illegal drugs in history, in the history of our country. Think of that. With the flow, deadly fentanyl across our border is down by 61%. Think of that, 61, not good enough, but I'll tell you what, it's down 98% coming in by water. Do you notice that? And we're trying to find out who the 2% are, because we think they may be the bravest people on earth. They are brave people. Either that or they don't watch television. One or the other. I think it's that they don't watch television. Down 98% by water. We had a lot of it coming in by water. And now, if you watch closely, you'll watch that same treatment being given to land. Land being much easier than water. We did the water first. That forces them onto the land, and then we're going to do the land, and you'll be very happy about it. We've reduced drugs coming into this country by an astounding amount. Now the Democrats have shut down the Department of Homeland Security in an attempt to return to open borders where criminals come in from all over the world. From the Congo, they come. You know, the Congo opened its jails, released all of its prisoners into the United States of America through the totally open southern border, Sleepy Joe Biden border. The TSA agents have been hurt badly by the Democrats, who made 3 different deals with us over the last short period of time, breaking the original one and then breaking the current ones because they don't want to settle. They want chaos. As I said, so there are great military triumphs against Iran can't be displayed on television because they're displaying airports. But I have to tell you, they did one thing that's been helpful. We decided to use our great patriots of ICE. These people are great. They have endured so much punishment, all because they want to get murderers, drug dealers, people who are totally mentally insane, many of the worst criminals in the world, get them out of our country. And in so doing, I sent ICE to the airports yesterday, and they have been so great. They have been so great. And you know what's happened? And they didn't need any rehabilitation, but they did in terms of the fake news. And they're doing such an unbelievable job at the airports that they had one line. It was 4 hours yesterday, and today was a half an hour. Big difference. And if we have to, we're going to send in the National Guard if we need to, because we only, we have 6,000 ICE agents, and we have 40,000 of the other people that they're helping out, some of who really were forced because the Democrats don't want to pay them. The Democrats don't want to pay them. You have to remember that. The radical left Democrats need to get DHS back and open immediately together. We're going to make with them, not the Democrats, because they've gone out of their way to make our country unsafe. And remember that, according to them, it's a war. They're doing this during a war. They're doing this during a war. We're not supposed to be doing it. But we're going to make America totally safe again very quickly with the largest drop. We had the largest drop in violent crime in our country, despite all of these criminals that have been allowed in, murderers. Despite all, think of it, 11,888 murderers allowed into our country, many of which, more than 50% killed more than one person. Thank you very much, Joe Biden. Thank you to Kamala, who is the border czar, who never went to the border and never made one phone call to Border Patrol. The Border Patrol is incredible. They've never had a phone call from her. 4 years. But they get phone calls from me every single day. How are we doing on the border? How are we doing on the border, Paul? How are we doing? How are we doing, Brandon, on the border? And we got it down to where people don't come anymore. So obviously now it's easy. They used to storm the fences. Now they don't come anymore because they know they're not getting in. But think of it, the murder rate, despite the fact that they allowed massive numbers of criminals into our country, is the lowest it's been in 125 years. 1900. Before my father was born. Before my father, Fred, who was the greatest, my father was born. After that, think of that, though, 125 years, and we've achieved a miracle right here in our nation's capital where we have a safe city. You can walk to work. You can walk to Congress. You can walk to the Capitol. You can walk to the White House. When I came, this place was so dangerous. We were having 2 and 3 people killed every single week. Now you don't see it at all. We have actually, in a very short period of time, we've already done it, but in a very short period of time, we have one of the safe. Washington, D.C. is right now from one of the most unsafe cities anywhere in this country, is now one of the most safe cities anywhere in the country. We have done a great job. And that's not just by having great people from our military there, National Guard. It's because we removed 4,000 hardened criminals out of our city and out of their country. In some cases, they were so dangerous and so bad. They came from Biden. This guy that couldn't walk off a stage. See the stage? See how many stairs are here? All of it. He could never find the stairs. And people don't want that. People want a president that's able to walk off and find the stairs. Could never. Do you ever see that? Where he looks out, oh, I'm finished. First of all, his speeches were extremely short. They lasted a matter of seconds. And then he'd walk out. Look, I couldn't stand. He was probably a nice guy. I couldn't stand this guy. You ever see the weaponization? If we look at somebody, Donald Trump is weaponizing government. We've done just the opposite, unfortunately. Unfortunately. I hope they're looking at some of these criminals that cheated on the election. I hope they're looking at them. Because what they did to us and what they did is incredible. But I looked at Biden, and he weaponized like nobody's ever been weaponized before. Me, forget about me, so many people, Republicans, many of you in the audience, Congress people, many of my friends, you were taped and your phone was taken away, right, Scott? A lot of things happened that were very bad. They weaponized. But the fake news will say, oh, Donald Trump mentioned a dirty cop named Comey, and therefore he's weaponizing government. No, they weaponized, and we're not going to let them happen. And I think Comer and all these guys, you're out there someplace, I think, because I can't see a damn thing with these stupid lights they have up. But I want to thank you, Jim Jordan, Comer. Where are those guys? Where I stand up, you deserve it. Now they have to take your recommendations. They have to take your recommendations and they have to act. They have to act. We can't just be sending out all these 100% recommendations and nothing happens. But I want to thank Speaker Johnson, the Republican Congress. We also passed the largest tax cuts in American history. Think of it. With a great, big, beautiful bill, we delivered no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security for our great seniors. Think of this. I mean, think of the no tax on tips. You know how I got that one? A lot of people hire consultants. You all pay them millions and millions of dollars. I was having dinner with a group of Republicans in Nevada, a state that we never win, right? And this waitress comes over. And I won't say she was beautiful, because if you call her beautiful, that's the end of your political career. So I refuse to say. I refuse to say that she was so beautiful. At the end of your career, it's true. If you call somebody beautiful nowadays, it's over. You resign in disgrace. So I will not say it. I said, how are you doing, Gina? Sir, it's terrible. The government's after me for tips. I said, really? Do you have, do you report your tips? It turns out the hotels pretty much report their tips. It's actually not quite as good as you would think. She said, no, sir. Sir, may I make a suggestion? What? What do you want? What do you know about politics? No, I'd like to make a suggestion. I'm voting for you, sir. You should have no tax on tips. She said, what? No tax on tips, sir. I said, say it one more time. No tax on tips, sir. I was with a group of 12 people. I got up, immediately walked outside of the restaurant where there were about 250 lunatic media. I said, ladies and gentlemen, after an exhaustive study, I have decided to have, as a very big part of my agenda, no tax on tips. This has been years in the making. And I won Nevada in a landslide. You know, I kept saying, well, the problem is she's just going to follow me up, you know. Kamala, real genius, she's going to follow me up. She waited months, and then just before the election, she said no tax on tips, and they left at her. It was over. We had the issue. We killed them on that issue. We won Nevada, which you never win. You know, Republicans don't win it very much. It was many, many years. But we had a great election. That was a great election. But I ask you this, I want to do this. Which was the bigger and more important election? Okay, I'm going to ask you, then I'm going to ask you just to cheer one way or the other. Because we had two great elections. We had three. Because 2020 was equally good, but they cheated. Millions of votes. Dirty cheats. Dirty, rotten cheaters. Which was the most important election? Which was the more glamorous? The whole thing, right? Which was the better election? I'm going to go 2016 or 2024. Ready? 2016. Whoa. 2024. Whoa. Could be right. A lot of people feel that way. I mean, 2016 was unique because somebody that had never done this before won. I never did it before. I went to Washington. I didn't know anybody. I was lonely. I said, do you have any people that are any good? And some rhinos gave me some names that I didn't like too much. But we had great people. You know, we rebuilt our military. 2016, that 4-year period, we rebuilt our military. We got the largest tax cut in history, superseded now by what we did in 2024 with a great, big, beautiful bill. I love the great, big, beautiful bill. But we did a lot. We did a lot. We had a great first term, but our second term is blowing it away. It's blowing every term. So far, it's blowing every term of every president away. And soon, you know, we hit, I have to say, we were going so smooth. And I say, I hate to do it, but somebody has to. For 47 years, no president had the guts to do what you had to do. And we hit 50,000 on the Dow. Everyone said, well, 50,000 will take place in 5 or 6 years. There's no way you can do it during his term. And I did it in the first year. Then they said, you'll never reach 7,000 on the S&P, Standard & Poor's. You'll never reach 7. We did it in the first year. We would go in like a rocket ship. The market was good. Everything was good. And then I said, we're going to have to do something about Iran because they're going to have a nuclear weapon very soon, and they're crazy. They're crazy. They're out of their minds. And we have to stop them. And I say, well, we're going to take a big hit. We're going to go through this certain route, and we'll get right back here, but we have to go and stop them. Every president should have done it. I heard that today Blinken made a statement that he should have done it. Thanks a lot, Blinken. I appreciate it. Blinken is Biden's guy, I guess. Who the hell knows who he is? He's his guy. But he came out with a statement that they should have done it. They made a mistake. They should have done it, and other presidents should have done it. Obama should have done it. Obama was worse. Obama gave them the absolute right title and interest, gave everything to Iran. You remember that? When Bibi Netanyahu came over and begged him not to do it, he gave Iran the right to have a nuclear weapon at the highest level within a very short period of time. And I terminated that agreement as soon as I came to office. And if I didn't terminate it, that weapon would have been used 3 years ago, would have been used a long time ago. Then we stopped it a second time with those beautiful B-2 bombers. They went in and they knocked the hell out of the nuclear potential. And if they didn't do that attack, Iran would have had a nuclear weapon within 2 weeks to 4 weeks after the attack. But we did attack, and we obliterated the site. And we saved it there, too. We did many things. Taking out Soleimani was very important. He was an evil man, but that was a big event. We took out, in my first term, we took out Soleimani, and they never had leadership that could compete with that. He was an evil guy, but he was a real leader, and he was a very tough general. Probably wouldn't have been quite as easy, I will tell you. I don't think we would have taken us an extra day. But under our leadership, America is also highly respected again. Perhaps we are now respected like never, ever before. I don't think we have ever been as respected now. You know, if you think about it, a year and a half ago, our country was viewed as a joke. We were a joke. All over the world, they were laughing at us, how stupid we were, how weak, how pathetic. Now we have the hottest country anywhere in the world. We're the hottest country in the world. King of Saudi Arabia said it. He said, sir, I was in Saudi Arabia, came back with $2 trillion for our country. I came back with $2 trillion from Saudi. $2 trillion from Qatar, $2 trillion from UAE. Oh, they're great. They're all fighting. They got hit. Nobody expected they were going to get hit. It made them angry, and they came to our side immediately, all of them, and others. But I came back, and I remember the statement like yesterday. He said, "Sir, King of Saudi Arabia," he said, 2 years ago, you were a dead country, and now you're the hottest country in the world. Congratulations." It's true. We're the hottest country anywhere in the world. There's nobody close. We're the most powerful military. We have the most powerful military. You saw that in Venezuela. 1 hour, the war was over. And, this is a larger country now that we're fighting. But the war essentially ended a few days after we went in. We knocked out their Navy. We knocked out everything. It's amazing. We have the greatest military. We make the greatest military equipment. And now, if you notice, I said, you got to make it faster. Got to make more of it because we need it. All made in America, but we make the greatest. We had an attack. 100 missiles were shot by Iran at a very important thing that we had. I won't tell you what it was for certain reasons. 100 missiles going 2,000 miles an hour were coming at this element of importance, tremendous power and importance. And of the 100 missiles coming at us, 100 missiles were immediately shot down, shot out of the air, fall into the sea. Think of it. Not one missile got through. That was the Patriot system. It's great. We have the best equipment in the world. We have the best military, the most powerful, most lethal military in the world by far. Earlier this year, in a stunning display of American military strength and skill, we apprehended the outlaw Victor, you know this, from Venezuela, named Nicolas Maduro, and brought him to face American justice. He's been killing people for a long period of time with drugs and everything else, but killing people, a violent man. We went in and we got him out of his house, and his house was located in a military base with thousands of soldiers, and we went in so violently that everybody said, we'll pass. Then they came back and waved goodbye as he flew out in a helicopter. The soldiers would say, bye, leave us alone. Thanks to the men and women in the room, we made a one